Right, so here's, when you see how shallow that divot is? See how deep his footprints are, but look how shallow the divots are. Yeah, well, don't do it that wide open, like the tour players. Those guys, I saw Asian one time at Bay Hill. I mean, that thing was 90 degrees to where it would have normally been. And I'm like, how's he doing that? You can open your stance just a little bit, yeah. But watch how, just a skosh if you're going to open it. Watch this divot. Right, that's what I'm showing you here. The best players. No, he didn't get the ball first. Look at that line. See, he started the divot. You see what I mean? Yeah, just a skosh behind it.
And you're not accelerating any faster through sand.
No. But you see it's shallow. I had another one in here of the bunker shots.
Same pace as a pitch shot, right?
Yeah.
So you said you wanted a little steeper?
No, you don't want it to be steeper. No. There we go. This is the one. Right. See what I mean? You see his footprints are much deeper than the divot. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Long and shallow. Thumping out of there, gliding through underneath the ball. It was really windy that day, and I was on top of the grandstands behind number 1 at Valhalla. So some of those tapes I've been sending y'all the last couple of weeks for the weekly video lesson tip. Look at that. There's a good picture right there. Is how close that divot is. And how little sand is taken before the ball. Look at that. See, all that sand is taken after the ball. People talk so much about hitting the sand before the ball, and that's true, but the best players nowadays pretty much do this more, where it's a very shallow divot and it's long and shallow. Okay. Right. Not all of it, but almost all of it. Very, very different conception than what people heard about because they heard so much about how far behind the ball you're supposed to hit. So this looks great starting out here, Brian, but again, you see how that leg, I love the huge shoulder turn, buddy. I think that's great. I wouldn't like it if you were hitting it bad, but since you're hitting it pretty well with that, bud, and it's helping you get more distance, I like it. And we're seeing that you're dead on the plane line with your driver and with your iron. So that's helping you a bunch. And the hinge, especially with the iron, is getting to be greater. So that's beautiful, man. And then here, I was asking you to try and keep those knees braced all the better. And you did that. So your left knee, see, is farther from your right knee on the one on the left. And it just really creates a nice smooth look there into your finish. That look like the tour players where you're just standing there. At live speed, you're just standing there because your lower body's so stable. And the club head's whipping around you into your finish. Nice and smooth, man. And again, that left knee is farther from your right knee at the top there than where you started today. Yeah, probably so. If you can do it, yeah, if you can get used to it, I think that's very smart to do that. And then, David, this setup looks really sweet, especially compared to the one we saw right there. With that more knee flex, looks more conventional there, instead of being so straight up and down. And you can see how it kind of gets your head down and your upper body's tilted over a little more, and so that's part of what you're saying. It feels like you're not having to go up and down near as much with your head, and that's absolutely the God honest truth there. But there's very little up and down movement with your head. Just a little bit above the plane line with the iron and the driver. Again, just a skosh above it with the driver, and then that's the toe contact we were talking about, that it twisted open, and because of the gear effect of that, the way they make bulge and roll with woods especially, it actually creates draw spin when we hit it out on the toe. So, encourages draw spin, doesn't guarantee it, but encourages it, and that's why it's there. You're not way underneath the plane line like you were thinking, you're pretty much dead on it. And then when you hit more balls with the face tape on there, you just got it more around the sweet spot, and we didn't see any wide hooks at all. And then there's a nice look with your arms extended, and your head hardly going down and backward at all, baby. Michelle will love that. She won't believe it when she sees that. Same thing here. Those arms extended real nicely. That's the best your arms have ever looked on a first swing in a lesson. And then that head's hardly down and back at all, and there's that nice solid lower body. And that left leg straighter, and you're not curved so much with the left side of your torso.
If you're on the back behind angle, I'm wondering one thing, maybe why that iron was getting crossed line. You want my hands back more like on the plane line at the top?
Well, you had the little bit of an over the top move there, didn't you? You see what I mean?
You want me to turn
Watch.
more behind? So like where those hands are, do you want
Right there.
You want those hands a little closer?
It'd be nicer if they dropped, right?
Drop?
Got here, or drop, or put them back there to start. Either way, whichever one's more comfortable.
My problem when I do the drop is that's when I really, I've been trying to stop the drop because the drop is like what's been causing me to get it way below.
Yeah, well, again, either one, whichever one's more comfortable for you is fine by me. So yeah, just the slightest hint of a little over the top move there with your hands to start the downswing. So yeah, either way.
So drop or pull it back.
Yeah, whichever one's more comfortable.
Right now it looks like I'm going straight down, or am I even going a little outside? A little outside.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. But the good news is it's very little. So. Right. This is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 to 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlinks. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment. And then we have the face-on camera angle also. And then what we also have here is 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment. And we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shots, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the stimp meter, 10.5 on the stimp meter, and 12.5 on the stimp meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn the certain fields in your golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. Then if we get tired of being indoors and we want to go outdoors and hit some, we can do that. It's my daughter. Ellie, good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see. But it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied that things are looking better on the video here, we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is for the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so So we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.